Hi and welcome to the channel. For those of you new, my name is Dave and I work in financial services, and these videos are a mixture of my journey and development towards financial independence, about financial products, and also about improving your financial well-being. And remember, if you like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel so it can grow and reach a wider audience. Now let's get into this latest video. So this latest video is about how I reached financial independence earlier on this year when I discovered the basics of finance and how it works. Now, first of all, we all trade our time for money. Now, whether we work for an employer, we work for ourselves, the amount of income we earn is mainly limited to the number of hours we work through that employment. But you can become wealthy whether you're on a low salary. You can achieve financial freedom. You can achieve your financial goals. Now, it doesn't matter whether you earn 50,000, 70,000 or 100,000 pounds. You just need to change your mindset and you need to understand how finance works. Now, 99% of people are on what we call a hamster wheel. They are slaves to their employment. Now, I enjoy my job, you may enjoy a job, but you are controlled about how much you can earn. But mainly because we live in a Western society, we all want the latest cars, the latest holidays, the latest iPhones. A lot of people want to keep up with their peers, their friends, their families, their neighbours. And most people are what we call snowballed in a cycle of debt. So we take out a mortgage, we're then stuck with the mortgage for 20, 30 years, shall we say. We take out a car finance, we may be stuck with that car for 3, 5 years until the car is paid off. And then what happens? We then get a newer car, we then get more finance, bigger finance, and the vicious hamster wheel goes full cycle. So first of all, you need to understand you need to make your money work for you. Now, I learned this principle in my early 40s and then decided to get serious about my finances. And I actually became a millionaire early this year, so my net assets are worth over £1 million. Now, I've always saved money, whether it's a bank or building society. I did invest in stocks and shares many years ago through an investment club. Started off a simple amount, £30 a month, now £50 a month, but over the course of 20 years, that investment alone is now worth £100,000 between myself and my friends. But it just goes to show it's a long journey. It's not a get rich quick, but you can reach your goals. As we said earlier on, I enjoy my employment. I work in financial services. Now, I am a basic rate taxpayer, but I work on my terms. I am financially free. I could retire tomorrow if I want to, but I choose to work. I enjoy my job. But I do have multiple sources of income. I have my employment. I have dividends through the form of my investment club, my stocks and shares ISA, my pensions. I do have bank interest. I do receive a rental income from a buy-to-let property. I do receive income from peer-to-peer lending. And I also receive income from recently investing in crypto and staking that crypto. So we've got numerous assets, okay, and they all work for us. So whatever happens, we are not reliant on my employment. I said I can leave employment. I choose to work because I'm working on my terms and I enjoy the job I do. But we did learn the mindset. We have created multiple income streams and we have got that income working for us. Now, in order to create wealth, they reckon you need to create the three main type of assets. So the first type of asset most people do or consider is what we call stocks and shares, ETFs, or investment in funds. Now, no matter how small you start, make that decision to make a start. Set yourself goals. Increase your savings as your knowledge grows. Now, most people will keep cash in a bank or a building society. They may be lucky if they earn 1%. Now, at the moment, inflation is over 3% in the UK. So, in fact, you are actually losing money to keep your money in a bank. The bank will get rich on your money because they will lend it to other parties. They will give you some kind of investment return through interest. Not a great amount of money, but you are actually losing money in real terms. Now, what you may well do, okay, is pick some kind of stocks, whether it's companies you know, companies you work for, companies you may be interested. It may well be a certain brand you use, or a certain brand you see on the high street all the time, or your friends may know information about. So it may be a specific stock or company that you like, or you think is a good company, and it will give you some greater returns than the bank or bill society. Or it may well be you start off, you pick what we call a passive fund. So it could be a low risk, it could be medium risk, it could be an adventurous, whether it's in the UK, the S&P 500, or a global stock or an adventurous. The idea is you will own numerous companies within a fund, and the idea is it will track the market. And so as obviously passive funds, or you may well choose to, what we say, you may need to make your own actively managed funds. So you pick a specific manager who may have a good track record, who will regularly beat the market, but it will cost you more in fees, more in charges, but again, it will give you greater returns to meet your investment goals. Now, I'm not going to bombard you with charts, but the S&P 500 has given an average return since the Great Depression in the 20s of 9.59%. So it will have good years, it will have bad years. The FTSE 100 was started in 1984, and since inception it's given an annual return of 7.8%. As we said, through last year in COVID, a lot of people may have lost money. Through this year, the FTSE is up between 50 and 20% for this year. So good years, bad years, but across a long-term time frame, it will give you much better returns than the banks or the building societies. So as we've said, do you go down individual stocks? Do you go down funds? So as your knowledge improves, increase your knowledge, increase your investments, and you will, through some kind of snowball, the pot will get bigger and bigger and bigger to reach your investment objectives. Our second type of investment asset we could make money from to reach our goals is what we call property. Now it could be a buy-to-let property, so a residential property. It may be commercial property. It may be a REIT, so a real estate investment trust, where you may well buy a collection of assets. Now, for most people, property may seem expensive. If you are going to buy a house to rent as a buy-to-let, it may well be you need a large deposit to get started. It may well put a lot of people off because you don't have the money, but ultimately, somebody else will pay you the rent. That rent will cover the mortgage, and hopefully the mortgage will be paid off over numerous years, but the property will increase in value and give you a greater investment asset in a later date. Now, it may well be you buy commercial premises, so it could be offices, factories, shops as part of a portfolio. The same process, but it will what we call diversify. Or you may well invest, say, in a REIT. So a REIT may well be a company which owns several properties. It could be offices, it could be retail parks, it could be factories. But the idea is a large number of investors will all own a portion of a share, and then based upon the REIT, they will give you some kind of capital growth, but they will also give you some kind of dividends, as 90% of the assets has to be paid out by dividends. But it may well, as I said, spread your investments across numerous properties, and it may well be a much more viable option to get into property at a much cheaper base rate. Now, of all the assets wealthy people invest in, they reckon property is the preferred assets to make people wealthy or very wealthy by the factor of 3 to 1. But it's used a lot of people at a later date when they have made that wealth, when they have got some kind of freedom. They use it to diversify because it's safe, it's secured, but it may well be for a lot of people hard to get into at an entry level. So when you have created the wealth, it may well be that you then diversify into properties to meet your overall investment portfolio aims. Now, the third type of asset we're going to look at today is what we call a business. Now, ultimately, most people see a business as the easiest or the greatest way to create an income for a larger income because you will work for your own terms. For a lot of people, it may be a struggle They may not want the stress, they may not want the hassle, they may not want to commit so much time because you are responsible for that business, and whatever happens, it is down to you to put the hours in. It may well be you work a lot more hours than a normal 9 to 5 job, but the rewards may well be a lot more substantial in the long term. Now, it may well be you do set up a business, something you know about. It may well be you do it with friends, family, some kind of partnership, or it may well be you invest in some kind of franchise. So something that's got a proven track record, but you will put in a lot of money, and then obviously you will create a business viable long term to meet your goals and objectives. Maybe something you enjoy, maybe a hobby you turn into a full-time employment. But it may well be you invest in a business through some kind of crowdfunding, okay, or some kind of IPO, initial placing offer, or some kind of VCT, a venture capital trust. So you don't actually run the business, but you may put some kind of investments in, and hopefully with the aim to get some kind of investment return, whether that's through the form of some kind of income, through some kind of dividends, or long-term capital growth. Or it may well be you create your own income through that business, or it may well be you create some kind of side hustle, such as a YouTube video, affiliate marketing. Okay, so there are numerous options for you. Do you go down the route of creating your own business for yourself, for something you enjoy, to give you the greater income, or do you invest in business maybe as some kind of silent partner? So there are numerous options to you, but quick recap, okay, looking at the options. If you can get financially independent, you can become wealthy, you can become rich, you can work on your own terms if you so wish, mainly through the three assets we've spoke about: stocks and shares, funds, ETFs, etc., property, and mainly through businesses. And remember, if you like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel so you can reach a wider audience, and we'll see you again in the next video.